Hi. It's Testfire. Obviously, you probably read my username. Um, so I've been awake for I don't know, over an hour and 40 minutes. It's something past 4 a.m. I woke up at 2:20 something a.m. on my alarm clock because I had the most vivid dream I've had in a while. I'm on my driveway right now, which is the sort of scene for a part of my dream. I vividly remember being on this driveway, the house, the garage behind me. Obviously, you can't see anything because it's nighttime and I'm outside. It's winter, so the animals and whatnot shouldn't bother me. I've been outside at night before. It's fine. So, I keenly remember, the house, the garage, the driveway, the forest around, the whole scenery. Um, be, um, Before that, okay, sometime earlier in the dream, I had been in a mansion, or the thought, the it labeled itself as mansion. You know how when you're in a dream and suddenly a word comes to your mind to describe something, even if it doesn't make any sense? The word that came to me that to describe the building was mansion. Or maybe that's what I thought after I woke up, but that is a thing that happens. A word to describe something. It was a lot of the mansion was windows. There were large windows. There was more window than wall or ceiling. And there were a lot of rooms which were also just windows basically, and you could see right into the rooms, and there was a person in each of the rooms. Almost, or at least a lot of the rooms had one person in each of them. And that's the wind, don't worry. One of the rooms, my sister was in one of the rooms, and she was watching something on a TV or a large monitor. Something she was enjoying. And I think I needed her to drive me home because it was sunset. I finally got her to follow me or whatever, drive me home. I don't remember a drive at all, but I just remember us arriving in this driveway. And hold on. The reason why I'm on the driveway is so I can, I don't know, more easily remember this part of the dream. But so me and my sister arrived, and we were just, I don't know, messing around on the driveway, just like dancing or something. We were being really goofy and having whatever. And then the guy showed up. Okay, so the guy. This was recurring throughout the dream. There would be this guy that would either, I don't know, be in a forest. Not Slender Man. No, I'm not talking about Slender. Really. There would be a guy in a forest just walking around or something. Or he would, if there was a road nearby, he would be driving a white Prius, a newer white Prius, slowly. I never saw him. Or I never remember seeing him. I just figured he was in a forest or somewhere near when he wasn't driving. But he would always drive by where I was. And yes, I keenly remember that it was a white Prius. A newer white Prius. For some reason, the dream, my brain decided to place a specific type of car. And he would always be screaming. And usually the screaming would announce me to where he was, and then I would see the car. Or just look out and maybe see him in the forest or whatever. And not a forest, I don't think it was a forest. It might have been a forest near my house or some other forest. A forest near the glassy mansion, the windowy mansion. And the screaming, he would say why. He would say why over and over again. In short bursts, he would scream the word why. And then he would just break off into this scream moan. And sometimes, at least one of the times, it was just the scream moan. But multiple times he would do this why thing. And it was creepy as hell. This is the most... sorry. You can hear it in my voice. It was the most creepy thing in a long time that I've had. I wouldn't say this is a nightmare, but just a really messed up dream. Because a nightmare tends to be hopeless. This was like more, I had way more control. So, I was with my sister. We were dancing around on the driveway or whatever after... by the way, it was nighttime, like it is now. It was nighttime when we drove to the house with no one home. And so yeah, we were dancing on the driveway, and then I heard the guy again, starting with his just, why, and then just breaking off into this, ah! And he would always, like, shake his voice or whatever into this moan. And so I heard him, looked over, and immediately said to my sister, "Run." And she immediately we both booked it to the porch. And she was ahead of me. I was expecting the door to be unlocked, but it was locked. I mean, hopefully it would be locked if we just, left it or whatever. But I don't think that's what happened. We just came home and it was locked. There was no one home. So she had to unlock the door. Thankfully, she had the right key, or she had the keys and she was fumbling for the right one, or had the right one, but it was like taking her a bit to just open it because she had to, I don't know, do all the deadlocks and whatever. And so we were on the porch, and I hid behind the railing and just watched the guy drive by. Just at a cruise speed. And I said, "Duck," encouraging my sister to hide like I was doing. I never heard the car coming though. It would be near the center of the not the center. It would be near he would be near the driveway. It would be on my street. Near the driveway. And then I would hear him screaming, and then I would look over. I never actually heard the car. And I never saw him. I don't know. The windows must have been tinted or covered or something, because I never saw him. I think it was a 4-seat. And the headlights weren't, even though it was nighttime, I think, the dream might have done a weird thing where it flicked to day when I looked over at the car. But the headlights weren't on. / taillights. And I think when we started running to the porch, it immediately became early morning for some reason. Like time was moving really quickly. Because it was, I don't know, sunset or something, or was getting there when I was at the mansion. And it was nighttime when we arrived here. It was bright, as if there was a full moon. So yeah, I was hiding behind the railing. I encouraged my sister to hide as well. But I don't think she ever did, but she unlocked the door and we got inside. And I looked to make sure the guy just kind of drove away again. And I looked to make sure he was gone, and I freaked out because I thought I saw him again. Turned the other way, turned back toward us, but I think I saw my sister's car, or someone else's car, and because I freaked out, my sister started freaking out as well, but then I told her, then I told her he was gone. And this guy showed up multiple times in my dream, and an earlier point in the dream, when I was with my sister and the guy drove by, we weren't caught outside at this point, so I think we were in the house or in some other building, and we were safe, and we watched him, and after he had passed by, I specifically remember my sister saying, "Poor guy." And then I think after the instance where we had to run to the porch and get into the house quickly, I think after the guy had gone, I also said, "Poor guy." And then I think that's when I woke up. But it's just a human voice that I remembered it a lot better when I had just woken up. I still kind of remember it. But what happened to this man? What happened to his mind because he was just doing that over and over again. As if he'd just lost it. Like he was too traumatized by something. So, I'm freezing my hands off. So I'll talk more about this later. So, thanks for watching. Regards, Testfire.